What you are about to hear could reshape the future of Latin America. It could define America's foreign policy, and it could push the world one step closer to another military conflict. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a direct warning to Venezuela: cooperate with the United States or risk a new U.S. military attack. This is not rhetoric. This is not speculation. This is a clear public ultimatum. In a dramatic escalation of tensions, Donald Trump has warned Venezuela that failure to cooperate with U.S. demands could lead to another American military strike. Speaking during a media interaction, Trump made it clear that Washington's patience is running out. According to him, Venezuela now faces a simple choice: cooperation or confrontation. This warning comes at a time when Venezuela is already facing deep political instability, economic collapse, and international isolation. Trump's message was blunt. The United States, he said, is prepared to act again. Why is the U.S. targeting Venezuela? According to the Trump camp, Venezuela is accused of harboring drug trafficking networks, allowing criminal organizations to operate freely, undermining regional security, and posing a threat to U.S. interests in the Western Hemisphere. Trump claims that repeated diplomatic efforts have failed, and that strong action is the only language left. In his words, America does not seek war, but it will not hesitate to use force if its warnings are ignored. The core warning: Trump stated clearly that if Venezuelan authorities refuse to cooperate with U.S. demands, including intelligence sharing, anti-drug operations, and political reforms, then military options remain on the table. This includes targeted strikes, increased naval presence, and direct intervention if deemed necessary. The message was not subtle. It was designed to be heard, not just in Caracas, but across the world. Venezuela's response: officials in Venezuela have reacted with strong language of their own. They have accused the United States of violating international law, interfering in sovereign affairs, and attempting to control Venezuela's resources and political future. Some leaders have warned that any U.S. military action would be met with resistance and would destabilize the entire region. At the same time, reports suggest internal divisions within Venezuela's leadership, with some factions pushing for negotiation to avoid further conflict. Global reaction: the international response has been mixed and tense. Several Latin American nations have expressed concern, fearing that military action could trigger regional chaos. European leaders have urged restraint and renewed diplomacy. Critics argue that another U.S. strike could set a dangerous precedent and inflame anti-American sentiment. Supporters of Trump's stance, however, argue that decisive action is necessary, and that weak responses in the past only empowered hostile regimes. U.S. domestic reaction: inside the United States, reactions are sharply divided. Some Americans support a tough approach, saying Venezuela has ignored warnings for too long. Others warn that military intervention could drag the U.S. into another prolonged conflict. The cost could be high, politically, economically, and militarily, and that diplomacy should be exhausted before any strike. Lawmakers are split, with debates intensifying over executive power and military authorization. The bigger picture: this is not just about Venezuela. This warning signals a broader message. The United States is willing to reassert its dominance in the Western Hemisphere. It reflects a foreign policy mindset where deterrence comes through force, not patience. Analysts say this move could reshape U.S.-Latin America relations, strengthen or weaken America's global image, and influence future conflicts beyond this region. What happens next? The next steps are critical if Venezuela